In the last decade and a half, it's become infinitely easier to obtain exactly what you're looking for by a couple of keystrokes. The internet has made it all too simple to use a computer to change reality. An abundance of information is merely a search engine away, to the point where it's hard to imagine life as any different. Yet a generation ago, when the words streaming and torrent were meaningless save for conversations about water, people met face-to-face to conduct software swap parties, trading games and applications on sharply labeled 5 1/4-inch floppies. Of course, most of the time, the meets were a way of frugal, community-minded individuals to trade popular games like King's Quest and Maniac Mansion amongst themselves. However, a few early programming talents designed their own computer games to share among their circle of acquaintances, who in turn will pass them on until, if found well designed enough, an independently developed game has its place in a collection of aficionados across the country. Think of it as the 80s equivalent of a viral video. Pale Luna, on the other hand, was never circulated outside of the San Francisco Bay Area. All known copies have long been disposed of, and all computers that have ever run the game now detritus buried under layers of fifth and polystyrene. This fact is attributed to a number of rather abstruse design choices made by its programmer. Pale Luna was a text adventure in the vein of Zork and the Lurking Horror, at the time when said genre was swiftly going out of fashion. Upon booting the program, the player was presented with an almost completely blank screen, except for a text.
You are in a dark room. Moonlight shines through the window. There is gold in the corner, along with a shovel and a rope. There is a door to the east. Command?
And so began the game that one writer for a long out-of-print friend scene decried as enigmatic, nonsensical, and completely unplayable, as the only commands that the game would accept were pick up gold, pick up shovel, pick up rope, open door, and go east. The player was soon presented with the following.
Reap your reward. Pale Luna smiles at you. You are in the forest. There are paths to the north, west, and east. Command?
What quickly infuriated a few who played the game was the confusing and buggy nature of the second screen onward. Only one of the directional decisions will make the correct one. For example, on this occasion, a command to go in a direction other than north would lead to the system freezing, requiring the operator to hard reboot the entire computer. Furthermore, any subsequent screens seem to merely repeat the text above, with the difference being only the directions above. Worse still, the standard text adventure commands appear to be useless. The only accepted non-movement related prompts were use gold, which caused the game to display a text.
Not here.
Use shovel, which brought up
Not now.
and use rope, which prompted text.
You've already used this.
Most who play the game progressed a couple of screens into it before becoming fed up of having to constantly reboot their devices and tossing the disc in disgust, writing off the experience as a shoddily programmed farce. However, there was one thing about the world of computers that remains true. No matter the era, some people who use them have way too much time on their hands. A young man by the name of Michael Nevins decided to see if there was more to Pale Luna than what met the eye. 5 hours and 53 screens worth of trial and error and unplugged computer cords later, he finally managed to make the game display a different text. The text in this new area read,
Pale Luna smiles wide. There are no paths. Pale Luna smiles wide. The ground is soft. Pale Luna smiles wide. Here. Command?
It was another hour still before Nevin stumbled upon a proper combination of phrases to make the game progress any further. dig hole, drop gold, then fill hole, which caused the screen to display,
Congratulations!
upon which the game ceased to accept commands requiring the user to reboot one last time. After some deliberation, Nevis came to the conclusion that the numbers referred to lines of latitude and longitude. The coordinates led to the point of a sprawling forest that dominated a nearby Leeson volcanic park. As he possessed much more free time than sense, Nevins vowed to see Pale Luna through to its ending. But the next day, armed with a map, a compass, and a shovel, he navigated the park's trails, noting with amusement how each turn he made corresponded roughly to those he took in the game. Though he initially regretted bringing the cumbersome digging hole on a mere hutch, the path's similarity all but confirmed his suspicions that the journey would end with him face to face with the eccentric's buried treasure. Out of breath after a tricky struggle to the coordinates, he was pleasantly surprised by a literal stumble upon a patch of uneven dirt. Shoveling as excitedly as he was, it would be an understatement to say that he was taken aback when his heavy strokes unearthed a badly decomposing head of a blonde-haired little girl. Nevis promptly reported the situation to the authorities. The girl was identified as 11-year-old Karen Paulson, who was reported as missing to the San Diego Police Department a year and a half prior. Efforts were made to track down the programmer of Pale Luna, but the nearly anonymous legal gray area in which the software swapping community operated inescapably led to many dead ends. Collectors have been known to offer upwards of 6 figures of an authentic copy of the game. The rest of Karen's body were never found.